This Week 8 preview of Old Fashioned Football on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you use our promo code OFFSGPN.
Hey, what's up? This is Sam Acho, and you're listening to Old Fashioned Football.
Welcome to Old Fashioned Football. If you're wondering who you're listening to, this is JMark. You can find me on the X at JMark Football. And if you're wondering who us is, that's at Old Fashioned FB. Before I keep going, got to introduce my co-host on the pod and in life. You can find her on the X at the Mir. Mark, Mir, how you doing today?
Good. Freezing. Because you know what we didn't do?
What didn't we do?
We didn't turn on our furnace.
It's not November yet. We're not wasting money on propane around
my
here.
nose is like freezing. If you touch it, it feels like ice.
Feels like
and
ice.
Every time I want to complain about the temperature in this house, you always say, are you wearing socks? Are you wearing a sweatshirt?
Well, yeah,
are you wearing long pants?
Yeah, you got to put some more clothes on before you complain that it's too cold in the house. We did wake up and it was 60 degrees in this house.
It warmed up today. I did check because I was like, at some point. We wake up this morning and you're like, okay, do you want to turn the furnace on now? It's 38 degrees outside. I don't want to open the windows but we need to open them. Like the first time you turn on the furnace.
Right. Yeah. Got to let that dust burn out that builds up. Absolutely. Shout out to the chat. Nation Season saying, Skol Vikes, we need JJ back. Carson Wentz did not look good. Our Mark, let's go. Mom says, woohoo. And Jamie says, hey, all you sexy people. And JMark. And then Pinky of Sports Nonsense Whiskey saying, let's fucking go. Welcome, everybody. I'm talking pretty good for somebody who got decapitated.
You got chopped.
I got chopped out of the guillotine.
Did you make it a little bit further than?
I made it a week longer than I ever have. I think week 6 was my previous record. Now it's week 8. So, I got chopped. You know what though? I didn't get chopped with money. I had $0 fab left. I always get chopped with money, so at least I spent my wad.
I now have 0. I just spent it on waivers this week.
Oh yeah, everybody. It's always because you stay in the league after you get chopped, and you get to watch people pick your players up, and it's like, yeah, fuck you guys and gals.
Yeah, picking off your players.
That's how it goes.
I guess it didn't process with me last night. When I'm putting in my waivers that I'm picking off your team.
Yeah. You're just taking my people, stepping over my dead body and seeing who I was managing. Shout out to Hunter, who had his wife turn the heat on last night. We just got more blankets last night. Just put more blankets on the bed.
But I'm caving after this because I cannot handle it. I just can't. My hands are like turning blue over here. I have goosebumps permanently.
You'll be fine.
It's not.
Shout out to Wesley. Good evening, everyone. And always fresh, never soggy. It's Cereal saying, over under on times getting derailed tonight. You can almost always bet on the over for that for us, no matter what it's set at. And Nick Fortune, evening, JMark and Mir making dinner and listening to both. It's going to be a good night. Hell yeah. As you know,
in the kitchen with Fortune.
In the kitchen with Fortune. Cooking with Fortune. Still 60s in Colorado. We were at 59 for the high today, I believe. So
I thought you said it was going to get up to. I thought you said 55.
I think it was 59.
Okay, fine.
If you're new to the show, welcome.
Just have to argue about everything.
All right, we're going to go over some injuries and some news. We're going to talk a little 2-minute drill where we recap last week and talk about the upcoming matchups.
Yes.
While giving out a lock bet. A lot of the props not available, so you're going to get your lock now. You're going to get your prop on X. Make sure you follow us at Old Fashioned FB. We're of course going to be reviewing some whiskey. We'll get to that in a second, but this is like bye-week Mageddon.
Oh my gosh, there's 6 teams. You have Cardinals, Lions, Jags, Raiders, Rams, and Seahawks.
Yeah. So you got some teams like the Raiders, where you probably, I mean, you have Genty and Bowers, but he's been hurt.
Mhm.
Then you have other teams with the Rams where you don't have Kyron Williams, you don't have Devonta Adams, Matt Stafford. So yeah, you're going to be
between
scrambling.
bye weeks and injuries. A lot of my bench is just like buys or they're out, and my injured reserves are all full. It's brutal.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. By the way, I'm glad Jamie's here, and so we can finally discuss the elephant in the room, because he has been a big Roshan supporter. He said, I created a tribute song about the death of Roshan Johnson. I'll send it to you, but good luck not crying. I tried to tell y'all, he's not good. So anyways, what kind of home cook we drinking? Oh, home cock we drinking tonight. No chicken cock tonight, but I mean, why don't we get to that, Miranda? What are we drinking today?
We are drinking Whipsaw Rye.
Yeah.
Which is, well, I won't spoil it.
Yeah.
I'll just shut up.
Okay.
I almost kept talking.
More on that towards the end of the show.
Yes.
We'll talk a little Whipsaw Rye, give a little review. We have it in our old fashions.
Which I noticed you gave me a huge cube, one that does not look like it's going to melt. Well, nothing's melting in this house. With the temperature, so I guess I don't have to worry about it getting watered down.
I gave you a giant diamond in there, so I don't want you to complain and say I never get you diamonds.
It's not a real one.
Well,
so I can still complain.
You cannot. Hey, real quick, we're brought to you by we're part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, and the NBA tips off this week, so make sure you subscribe to the NBA Gambling Podcast for daily picks podcast. Tune into the NBA Gambling Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. I'm sure LeBron will be doing his little load management and whining about shit and falling down when somebody brushes his head. Fuck that guy. That's all I got to say. Should we get back to the NFL before I go on like
let's go to injury report.
LeBron
let's go through
this. I could do it.
Yes, stop. Let's go over this very long injury report that we've got here. Mike Evans barely came back and immediately broken collarbone. He's going to be out most of the season. I think they're saying if he doesn't miss the rest, like maybe sometime in December, but
probably after fantasy football relevancy.
Yes.
He left with a whole 0 points too. So
I know.
That was
and
lovely.
I had him in many leagues. It's wonderful. Saints running back Henry Miller, he suffered a torn ACL and he's out for the season. We've got Bryce Young, who has a high ankle sprain. He's likely out at least 2 to 3 weeks. Then Lamar Jackson is questionable with a hamstring injury.
Which I hate to say it, since the Bears play the Ravens, I hope he doesn't play, but that's just me.
Michael Penix has a bone bruise in his foot. Sounds painful. He's questionable. I doubt he plays. Brock Purdy, again, is doubtful for week 8 with his toe and shoulder injury. Something to keep an eye on just in case
because you can never trust Kyle Shanahan.
No.
He may be doubtful now and then just fine tomorrow. Who
knows? Then we've got Jaden Daniels. He's injured with a hamstring injury. He may miss this week. Darren Waller has that pec strain and he's going to miss time. Since the Dolphins are doing so poorly. With his injury, I'm kind of wondering, I don't think he's going to rush back. He might be out 4 to 6 weeks per the DGen doc, Sebastian.
Yeah, shout out to Sebastian.
Yeah. And then we've got Nico Collins, who has a concussion, and there's not a status update that I saw on that one.
Yeah. The Dolphins are doing bad. We'll talk about the listener league a little bit later, but Kate, the distiller at Keeper's Heart, is a Dolphins fan. So at least her fantasy football team is doing well.
She can root for that team.
Right? Absolutely. We're going to get to our previews pretty soon here, but before we do, I want to let you know that we're brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on football and everything else. Their prop builder is second to none, and their motto is one that I hold true to my heart. Bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. Each easy deposit, lightning fast payouts using crypto. Don't use the Dogecoin. It's down right now. Just head over to MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN for 100% bet back bonus up to $500. Terms and conditions apply. That's MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Novig. Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market. With Novig, you're getting the best prices, and it's available in 35 plus states. So, maybe Cody Zeeb of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast and I want to make a little friendly wager, but we don't see each other all the time. He's quite a ways away. We've seen him, once or twice? I think just once. Anyways, we could get on Novig and we could bet each other. Download the Novig app and get $50 when you spend $5 if you use our promo code SGPN. Get on the action with Novig, promo code SGPN.
You were looking at me for confirmation, and I'm trying to figure out when the twice was.
So it was just once. That would be the confirmation.
I'm like, wait.
I couldn't quite remember. Could not quite remember. Hunter pointing out that, we did have some snafus last time we did the podcast because it was in the morning and we didn't have any whiskey. Now, I would like to point out, after I poured myself some whiskey, we had no issues.
No, we didn't. It smoothed out from there. And I also just took a drink of this old fashioned and I had to do a double take on it. I was like, oh my God, this is good.
You like it?
I don't want to spoil it for our review, but holy crap.
Yeah.
This is really good.
I try not to smell the whiskey when I first open the bottle, but sometimes it's really hard not to. And it did have, I think it's going to have an interesting taste profile.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised. I don't want to give anything away. The region it's from, I'm not surprised that I like it so much. I'm not surprised on the finish, the barrel finish, why I like this so much.
It's definitely different.
Oh my God, it's so good.
I already feel like this would have been a good whiskey for a Manhattan as well.
I could see that.
Yeah. Anyways, getting closer to the car win total bet. There's no bones in Penix. Silly. Fair enough. And JJ McCarthy's fake injury. Yeah.
Oh my God.
They said he was injured and he was going to be out. And then they said something about, well, he's working on some stuff. And so I think he got benched because he was not doing well. I don't know.
Yeah. That previous comment went right over my head for a second.
Oh, the no bones in the Penix.
I got it.
Yeah, it's a wiener joke. Wesley saying George Kittle killed me this past week. You know what though?
With his goose egg.
He did apologize. I don't know if you saw this, but he took
he apologized to bettors and for fantasy
coaches, which I've never heard for whatever.
We are coaches.
Yeah, I've never heard that. I've heard like fantasy manager.
No, we're a coach.
You're supposed to say you manage these people, not own them. That was a big thing. Like you can't say, well, I own this guy. That's you can't do that.
Can't say that, but I like coach. I've been promoted.
Yeah,
I've been promoted to head
coaches,
coach,
right? And some of my coaching jobs are doing very well. Some not so much.
Some are about to get cut, but we don't need to talk about that.
Right.
I've got 13 positions open.
Right. Absolutely. Well, we might as well just jump right into it. Of course, make sure you check all the buys. Make sure you check all the injuries going on because, like we said, there's a lot. I noticed there was a lot of notifications coming in today. Don't panic on Wednesday injury reports. There was all sorts of guys questionable. It's middle of the season now. You're going to see more people take some days where they do a little less because they don't need to practice. Anyways, you ready do you have anything else you want to add before we jump right in?
Let's go. Let's do this. I'm hitting start.
Let's do this. The Vikings at the Chargers. The Chargers are 3-point favorites. This is Thursday Night Football. Vikings coming off that loss to the Eagles 28-22, and Wentz looked really bad and inaccurate. I mean, he did throw for 313 yards. Don't get me wrong, but no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Jordan Mason had 15 carries for 57 yards and a touchdown. But Jordan Addison, he's kind of become this star since he came back from suspension. 9 catches on 12 targets for 128 yards. So teams are focusing on Justin Jefferson, leaving Jordan Addison open, and he is doing damage. The Chargers lost 38-24 to the NFL's best team, the Colts. That's by record. Don't get mad at me about that. Justin Herbert threw for 420 yards, 3 touchdowns, but also 2 interceptions. He also led the team with rushing. They couldn't rush the ball. Kamani Vidal had 9 carries for 20 yards. Receiving game was spread out, but tight end Oronde Gadsden, a hot waiver wire pickup this week.
Yeah, I got him everywhere I could.
Did you? Yeah, he had 7 catches for 164 yards and a touchdown. And Keenan Allen had 11 catches for 119 yards and a touchdown. McConkey had 9 catches for 67 yards. Johnson had 2 catches, 30 yards, but he had a touchdown. So it looked good. The Vikings, though, did not look good against the Eagles. So I think I'm riding with the Chargers here. We'll get another prop bet out a little bit later, probably tomorrow before the game. We'll watch our Twitter for that.
Looking at fantasy football here, overperformers, I think you've got to go with Keenan Allen or Quentin Johnston. I would take your pick. Both are projected a little over 10 points, but the Vikings defense just let Devonta Smith rack up 183 yards and A.J. Brown 121. Yeah. So I think these 2 guys are going to have big days. Looking at an underperformer, Kamani Vidal, he's projected 11.93 points, and the Vikings did just hold Saquon Barkley to 44 yards on 18 carries. True. If they can keep that strong run defense, Vidal is going to struggle, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree with that. We got a bet on the Panthers win total. Don't forget, Serial says. I didn't even remember what the bet was, so you're going to have to remind me.
How dare you?
Right? And Jamie's saying, I have Gadsden in 16 dynasty leagues. I've been telling people to pick him up since week 4.
I was looking at one of my leagues last night, and I went to the waivers. I'm like, I got to find him on here. I was like, where is he? He was already on my team. I picked him up before.
I love it.
But
where is this guy?
Who has him? I do.
Right? And Ciro's saying, when you throw for 420 yards, the whole team ate. Absolutely. All right. Shall we?
Yeah, of course.
We continue? All right.
Yep. Next up, there's no morning games, which I love and I don't. I mean, it's nice to wake up and I'm already ruining this 2-minute drill. It's nice to wake up and have football right away, but I like this for fantasy purposes because I can get my shit a little bit more together on Sunday morning.
That's fair.
But anyway, starting with the noon game, the Falcons are a 7-point favorite at home against the Dolphins. The Dolphins are coming off of the embarrassing 31-6 loss to the Browns, where the only good thing on their offense was Devon Chan, who had 13 carries for 82 yards. He added 3 catches for 16. We warned he wouldn't get to his 18 points and half PPR, and he only had 11.3.
That's true.
Tua threw the ball 23 times, completing only 12 of them for 100 yards and 3 interceptions. He was benched late in the game for rookie out of Texas, Quinn Ewers. Okay, boom. I thought you were gonna say correct me or something. Falcons coming off of a 20-10 loss to the 49ers. Penix threw for 241 yards and a touchdown. Bijan ran the ball 14 times for only 40 yards.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Bijan.
Right.
He did add 6 catches for 52 yards and a touchdown. And then Kyle Pitts. I love to be right, but I don't want to have to say that I'm right here. I did say he would be an overperforming that whatever 6 projected points. He did with 7 catches for 62 yards.
Yeah, absolutely. This one's simple for me. Take the Falcons. The Dolphins are, I think, the worst team. I know the Jets are going to argue that, but I think the Dolphins are the worst team in the NFL here. So give me the Falcons -7, and we'll get some prop bets out as well.
All right, moving on to fantasy. For an overperformer, Darnell Mooney finally started getting more on the same page to where we saw him in Penix end of the season last year. He's projected just 7.59 points. And I think in a heavy bye week, he's a possible good option for a flex and will exceed that projection. For an underperformer, Tua is projected 18.31, coming off of it depends on the league, but negative 0.4 points performance. And
it's worse than a goose egg.
It's horrible. We went past the goose egg the wrong direction. Falcons defense isn't any easier to move the ball on through the air. They also rack up sacks, and who knows if he finishes the game or gets benched. I hope you don't have to start him because he should stay on the bench.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll move on to the next game. Speaking of somebody else that might get benched, Justin Fields. It sounds like they are moving away from him. The Jets did lose 13-6 in a game where they benched him then, and he had 6 completions on 12 attempts for 46 yards. Tyrod Taylor didn't look much better, though. He went 10 for 22 for 126 yards, 2 interceptions. Breece Hall just had 11 carries for 38 yards. This team is just a complete fucking mess. The Bengals looking like maybe not a mess, coming off a 33-31 Thursday night win. Right, because of Joe fucking Flacco, who proved that he was the elite old man on the field, beating those Steelers. He threw for 342 yards and 3 touchdowns. The whole team looks back on track. Even Chase Brown ran for 108 yards on 11 carries. Jamar Chase, 16 catches, 161 yards and a touchdown. T. Higgins, 6 catches for 96 yards and a touchdown. The Bengals look like they're back. They look like they're ready to compete. The Jets are a mess. I don't know why this line is only 6.5. Doesn't make sense to me. Take the Bengals.
All right. Moving on to fantasy. There are so many quarterbacks on a bye. If you need help, we just mentioned how awesome Joe Flacco is looking.
Yeah.
When he's on the Bengals, I like Joe Flacco. I think that he could give you that help if you're looking for quarterback help. He's projected 15.75, even though he's coming off of a 29.4 game last week. It was a 20.95 game the first week with the Bengals. another week of practice and building that OChem with the team, I feel like he's going to go over 20 again.
All about the OChem.
I know. Looking at an underperformer, it sounds like you mentioned, the Jets.
It'd be better if they were called the Bets.
The Bets.
Yeah,
what would the mascot be? Money.
A dollar sign.
Money.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be benching Justin Fields and start Tyrod Taylor. I am starting Breece Hall this week. Garrett Wilson is questionable. And I mean, if he plays and you play him, I don't know if I'd be starting any other Jet right now.
Yeah. I think if he does play, you have to, because it's Garrett Wilson.
Mhm.
But yeah, I agree.
All right. I just erased everything. Anyway, next up, I had my laps going and we were doing good. There's no record or proof of it now.
I got proof.
Okay. Next up, we've got the Browns who are on the road in New England, with the Patriots being the 7-point favorites. Browns are coming off of a 31-6 beatdown of the Dolphins. Dylan Gabriel didn't need to do much. He threw 18 times, completing 13 of those for 116 yards.
Yeah.
His top target was Harold Fannin, who had 4 catches for 36 yards. No surprise here, though. It was Quinshon Judkins, who was a star. He ran 25 times for 84 yards and 3 touchdowns. Then you've got the Patriots, who are coming off of a 31-13 win to the Titans.
I got to say something about that real quick. The Titans were up 10-0. I
Uh-huh.
texted Cody and I said, can you please tell your team to wake the fuck up, because I have them in too many parlays. And then, of course, they win 31-13. They woke up and he asked for a Venmo request as a thank you.
Because it was
he made the
totally
calls. He made some
his
calls.
doing. Looking at stats here, Drake May, he set the record for the best passing completion percentage in franchise history, better than Tom Brady. He threw for 23 times, completing 21 of them for 222 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also ran for 62 yards.
Great
He was
day.
getting it done.
Yeah.
Ramondre Stevenson ran the ball for 18 times for 88 yards and a touchdown. The top receiver was Stephon Diggs, who caught 7 targets for 69 yards. But the long touchdown was caught by Kayshon Boutte, who had 2 catches for 55 yards and a touchdown.
Long booty call.
Absolutely.
For bets, I mean, I don't understand why the Patriots are only 7-point favorites. They're a far better team than the Browns, so I'm taking that. We'll again, prop bets come out later.
Every time the Browns, I think the guy on Insta, we're the Cleveland Browns.
We
Yes.
know you are. Yeah.
I love his recaps. I watch
It
them all
is
the
good.
time,
Yeah.
and I send them to you, even though you probably watch them too.
I do. Yeah. No, it's good.
All right, moving on to fantasy.
There's another derailment.
Sorry, it's my fault. I am the problem. I know I'm the problem. So I'm looking at an overperformer here, just to pick a Brown.
We're the Cleveland Browns.
I think Jerry Jeudy will be relied on and exceed. He's projected 8.37 fantasy points. I know this isn't a lot of points to exceed, but he's only gone over it once this year, and that was in week 1. This weekend, it would make the second time as the Browns try to keep up with the Patriots.
Yeah.
For an underperformer, I'm going to give you Ramondre Stevenson. He had a good game last week with 15.8 fantasy points against a really bad run defense. So now he faces a good run defense, and I'm just not trusting him to get 11.64 fantasy points.
Yeah, no, I agree with it. Just to check in with the chat, Serial saying it was the NFC South preview, over 6.5 wins. JMar had to have a glass full to the brim with twisted tea. That's I remember that now. Yes, if they get over
Yes.
6.5 wins.
I'll keep track of this from now on, since we can't trust you to keep track of
Right.
it.
Patrick checking in. Brian Scott better than Justin Fields. I agree.
Mhm.
Brian Scott. I need to get my other jersey, which is over there. Y'all can't see it. Of Brian Scott, his USA jersey, as he won gold with Team USA for the under-18 football
Mhm.
competition. And Jamie's saying, don't forget it's tight end holiday, so start fanning. I also, like to do a little tight end anytime touchdown bet, so I'll be putting that out a little bit later. Anyways, we shall continue with a rematch from just 2 weeks ago. The Giants head to Philadelphia to face the Eagles, who are 7-point favorites. Giants coming off that 33-32 loss to the Broncos. they played really well, but they missed 2 extra points, which the way I do math, that would have won them the game.
The way you do math.
The way I
you
do
are
math.
correct.
Yeah. Dart threw for 283 yards, 3 touchdowns, but a crucial fourth quarter interception. Cam Scatterby had 16 carries for 60 yards and 3 catches for 34 yards and a touchdown. Wan'Dale Robinson led the receivers again with 6 catches, 95 yards on 12 targets. He's almost becoming like, just start him because he's going to put up numbers. The Eagles, we already talked about, they beat the Vikings 28-22. And you hear a lot of like, oh, to beat the Eagles, just make Jalen Hurts throw the ball. Well, he had a perfect quarterback rating. First one this year, 326 yards, 3 touchdowns. So that didn't work out so well, making him throw the ball. Barkley ran, you already talked about it, 18 times for 44 yards. They've really struggled to run the ball lately, which is surprising.
It is.
Devonta Smith had 9 catches on 11 targets for 183 yards and a touchdown. A.J. Brown had 4 catches on 6 targets for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns, which really helped me. I like the over 43.5 points in this one. That's my favorite part. But with how scrappy the Giants are, it's kind of hard for me to take Eagles -7. You can find Giants +7.5. I like that. I think the Eagles win this game, but I think it's going to be a scrappy game. And again, prop bet to come later. I'm going to stop saying that from here on out.
Prop bets will come later, people.
Later on.
You're
on
taking my 2 minutes. You're digging into my time. All right, fantasy. I'm looking at Wan'Dale Robinson and Jackson Dart, who are building a nice chemistry. He's projected 9.66 points and has gone over this in the last 2 games, including 17.4 against the Eagles defense 2 weeks ago. So I'm throwing him in my lineup, especially during the heavy bye. For an underperformer, I'm looking at Saquon Barkley, who had 7.7 points against the Giants 2 weeks ago. I know you aren't sitting him, and I get that, but just for some interesting stats, Barkley is the current RB16 in fantasy football, and in the last 5 weeks, he's only had 1 top 10 finish and 2 finishes outside of the top 30.
Wow.
Exactly. So
interesting.
It is.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got the Bills, who are coming off of a bye, and they're hitting the road to Carolina, where they are the 7.5 point favorites. Panthers are coming off of a 13-6 win over the Jets. Before leaving injured Bryce Young, he threw 138 yards and a touchdown. Andy Dalton came in and threw for another 60 yards. We had Rico Dowdle, who had 17 carries for 79 yards.
79?
Yeah.
79.
You heard it. Well, Chuba Hubbard had 14 carries for 31 yards. I think it's time to, just hand the reins over to Dowdle.
He's running better. I
yes.
agree.
And then Xavier Legette, he was the top receiver, having 9 catches on 11 targets for 92 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah. This one to me is easy. The Bills are pissed. They've not had a good, before the bye, they didn't have a good couple weeks. They're off their bye. They had that extra rest. It's going to be
ready to lay the beat down.
Yeah, it's going to be bad news for Carolina.
Yes. Looking at fantasy for an overperformer, if Dalton Kincaid is back from injury, he is, questionable right now, but expected to play. I think he should have a good game if he does. He's one of Josh Allen's favorite targets, and then the Panthers have struggled against the tight end position. At 0.18 projected points, I think he's going to exceed that.
Yeah.
And then for an underperformer, Chuba Hubbard, returning from injury last week, he played 54% of the snaps, more than Rico Dowdle, but with those, he ran the ball 14 times for 31 yards. The Bills are easier to run on. However, I think Dowdle has proven himself in this backfield, so I would start him.
Yeah. No, I like that. Absolutely. Just catch up with the chat real quick. It was glorious that they missed the 2-point conversion, says Sports Nonsense and Whiskey, of course, located in Colorado. Big Broncos fans. These are the tight ends facing the worst defenses versus them. The numbers after the player are the average yards allowed by the defense, says Jamie. So Chigakonkwo, 71, Mason Taylor, 76, Tucker Kraft, 67, Kyle Pitts, 64, Harold Fannin, 62. And then Juan Pena Jr. checking in. How's it going?
Hello.
Who for wide receiver 1, 2, and 3, tight end and flex spot? So we got Quentin Johnston, Deebo Samuel, Kayshon Boutte, Jordan Addison, Tez Johnson. Then let me just
get them all out there.
Okay, running back Krosky, Travion Henderson, Kyle Monangai, and then tight end Ertz, Kittle, Josh Jacobs and Taylor are the current RB1 and 2, Devontae and Charbonnet on bye. So immediately I'm going to say Quentin Johnston and Jordan Addison.
Johnson for sure.
And Jordan Addison, I think you have to pick.
I do.
For running back to throw in your flex spot, I'm going with Kyle Monangai.
I knew you were going to say that.
I think that
Justin.
No. I think Ben Johnson has unlocked his. I'm not saying they're as good as Gibbs and Monty, but I think
it's not the Gibbs and Monty show.
No,
it's not
the
same.
It's going to start being a more split workload. DeAndre Swift's still dealing with a groin injury as well, so Kyle Monangai is still going to be a big part of that offense, in my opinion. I think they'll both get double-digit carries, so I would go with Kyle Monangai in your flex. That leaves us one wide receiver 3 to pick from between Debo, Kayshon Boutte, and Tez Johnson. For me, I think if Debo plays, you do Debo.
I would have to agree with you
because they like to get him the ball on reverses and rounds and all that type of stuff. I think you have to, right?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. Canales said that Hubbard and Dowdle will play 50-50 snap shares. I think that's a terrible decision. And I think Dowdle's going to do more with it.
I do think he'll do more with it.
Yeah.
He's going to perform better.
Yeah. Arturo Flores, don't remember seeing that name, so welcome to the show. Trade Adunze for London. I don't like Adunze, not going to lie. Now, we are Bears fans, so
how dare you?
It's going to be hard for me to say. I do like that.
Yeah. I like it.
Okay.
I take the Bears fan out of you.
Right.
Just like put it aside.
That's difficult. But
we want to win.
I know.
We want to win fantasy.
I think because the Bears have multiple weapons, I think because the Bears are focused on running the ball. Now, I know the Falcons do as well, but when they throw the ball, more likely than not, it's going toward Drake London over half the time, it seems like. So, yeah, I think that's a good trade. You agree?
Yep.
All right. Thanks for checking in, everybody.
Yes.
Keep the questions coming if you got them, and we're going to continue talking about our Bears who
are.
play the Ravens. The Ravens are 6.5-point favorites, which indicates to me that Lamar Jackson is playing. Bears coming off their 4th win in a row, which feels good. The passing game did look weak, though. Did not feel good. Caleb Williams only threw for 172 yards, no touchdowns. But it was that running game that carried him. DeAndre Swift, 19 carries for 124 yards. Kyle Monangai, 13 carries, 81 yards, and a touchdown. They both had a touchdown. This is, again, Ben Johnson likes 2 running back sets, and I think Kyle Monangai just took a while to get up to speed.
I know, but Swift is getting more. He's more and more yards.
He is more. He is getting more, but that doesn't mean, how many times were you comfortable starting both Gibbs and Monty?
I'm not comfortable starting both Swift and Monangai.
I am.
Okay.
I am now. I think that we unlocked something in this offensive line.
I'd love for you to be right. I would love for us to unlock some success finally.
Ravens are coming off a bye, so not a lot to say there. For the best bets, my heart wants to say take those Bears plus 6.5. If Lamar Jackson doesn't play, absolutely take them and on the money line. Hopefully I didn't just jinx us.
I hope not, because you have a habit of doing that. Looking at fantasy for an overperformer, I hate contradicting myself, but I know you just said, Kyle Monangai having his best game of the season, but we are going against another team that struggles against the run. He's only projected 4.81.
Yeah, that's too low.
I do when I was looking at that, I was like, oh, this is low. I do think he's gonna come over that. And he could have another game potentially where he has those double-digit carries.
Swift did not practice today, by the way.
Okay.
So still banged up.
We'll see. We'll see. But anyway, I do think he's definitely overperforming that. Underperformer if you're wow. If you're still
if you're trope, what?
I'm nothing. If you're still I'm thinking about Mark Andrews. If you're still trying to start him, unfortunately, I think you need to stop. Just stop. He's projected 7.59 points. He's only hit that number once this year. And, the Bears, we've been decent against the tight end position. And then I think especially if Lamar Jackson doesn't play.
Yeah, I agree with that. Patrick says, no Derrick Henry prop. You still better. When I looked, they didn't have him available yet. I would smash over on Derrick Henry. I do think he will run the ball well against us.
All right.
I'll say it. It's fine.
Next up, we've got the 49ers. They're hitting the road to Houston, where the Texans are a 0.5-point favorite.
Yeah.
The 49ers, they're continuing to survive despite their injuries. They won 20-10. Mac Jones filled in again, but not as gracefully. He only threw for 152 yards and one interception. And then we've looking at Christian McCaffrey. Finally, he had a good day running the ball. He ran for 24 times, 129 yards and 2 touchdowns, and then added 7 catches for 72 yards. It was a great day for him for fantasy. Next top receiver was Juwan Jennings with 4 catches for 31 yards. The Texans, they're coming off of a 27-19 loss. The team just, I don't know how else to put it. They don't look good.
No.
Stroud threw the ball for 229 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Nick Chubb had 5 carries for 16 yards. Woody Marks had 10 carries for 15 yards. Marks also, why are you laughing at me?
The name Woody Marks makes me giggle.
All right. Well, anyway, he had 3 catches on 5 targets for 20 yards and a touchdown. Dalton Schultz had 9 catches for 98 yards on 10 targets. And then Jalen Noel had 4 catches for 77 yards.
Yeah, real quick. After Nico got injured, there was a time when the receivers were Xavier Hutchinson, Jalen Noel, and Jaden Higgins. And if you're unfamiliar with college football, those are all Iowa State receivers. So it was like watching the clones out there. I mentioned on Twitter, I put something out. I got called an idiot when I was on VSiN. I got DMs, and I tend to delete those DMs because there's enough negativity. I get pissed off. I just delete them. I've learned my lesson. I will keep them from now on. I got called an idiot for saying this Texans team was going to struggle and that maybe the Colts.
So you want to go and engage in battle after the fact?
Well, no, I just want to keep the receipts so that the people say that I'm an idiot because I said, hey, I think Dan Jones is going to do well and I think the Texans will struggle. That's what's happened. I look like a genius. I mean, maybe not a genius, but I have looked right with it. This one's easy for me. Take the 49ers money line.
All right. Looking at fantasy. We mentioned already at the beginning of the show that George Kittle apologized to fantasy coaches and bettors for his goose egg performance last week. I feel like you're probably going to be hesitant to start him after that because that was shocking. But because he had 0 points, I'm starting him.
Yeah.
He's projected 10.62. I think he ends up having a big game, despite the Texans being good against the tight end position, by the way.
I would say especially Purdy plays as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So just watch that whole situation on the 49ers. For an underperformer, this is especially if Nico misses the game with a concussion, but I'm still sitting CJ Stroud coming off of the bye. He only managed 15.95 points against a team that has led up a decent amount of fantasy points to quarterbacks. So the 49ers are a tougher matchup, and his offensive line is just terrible right now.
They are bad. Serial saying, real question is what happens when the immovable force meets the unstoppable object? I believe he's talking in altitude, talking about the Cowboys and the Broncos. We'll get to that in our thoughts, but you will like my bet. I'm going to let you know that right now. Spoiler alert. Sal saying someone tried to trade me Bucky Irving and Jacoby Myers for Cam Scatterbo. If I knew Bucky was healthy, I would like that trade because you're getting 2 players. Jacoby Myers gets a lot of targets, and I think Bucky is solid. But I'm hearing rumors that they might still put Bucky Irving on injured reserve, which is dumb. They should have done it before so that they could activate him when he was ready. But I just don't trust it with not knowing if or when he's going to play again this year.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah. Scatterbo has been nice.
Yes,
if you hear that Bucky is healthy and playing, then I like the trade. Until then, I don't. Just saying. We're going to talk about those afternoon games, but before we do, Miranda, why don't you let everybody know a little bit about Underdog Fantasy?
Absolutely. We are brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is a great place to play fantasy pick'em where you can win up to 500 times your entry. Simply pick higher or lower on your favorite player's stats, available for a ton of sports. Underdog's also got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code OFFSGPN.
We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Rhythm's crushing it in college football and NFL with picks and props. They were all over those Dalton Schultz catches that he had. Rhythm is also giving away weekly cash prizes just for tracking your bets in the app. Track 5 bets of the same type from any model you build and you could win $1,000 just for tracking 5 bets. Use promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off your first month. Download Rhythm and use promo code SGPN25. All right. You ready to talk about these afternoon games?
Yes.
I am too. Because I think there are some good games this afternoon, but this one's not one of them. The Bucks are 4-point favorites against the Saints. They're coming off that 24-9 ass whooping to the Lions, where Baker threw for 228 yards, a touchdown and pick, and did not look like Baker Mayfield. Kept overthrowing his receivers. Rashad White ran the ball 10 times for just 38 yards. Tight end Kate Otten was the top receiver with 7 catches for 65 yards. And Emeka Egbuka, who I thought was going to miss the game, ended up playing. He was a top targeted guy. He had 12 targets, but only 4 catches and 58. Again, Baker kept overthrowing guys. Saints coming off that 26-14 loss to our Bears, where Spencer Rattler still looks all right. 233 yards, 2 touchdowns, but he did throw 3 interceptions.
3 of them.
Not his fault. The Bears are elite. They now have 4 games with 3+ turnovers. It's the longest streak in the NFL. His top target was Chris Olave, who had 5 catches for 97 yards and 2 touchdowns. I don't understand why the Bucks are only 4-point favorites. I know, no Mike Evans, probably no Chris Godwin, no Bucky Irving. I get it. But aside from last week, these Bucks have been resilient. They've been winning games, and the Saints have been terrible. I don't get it. It seems fishy. It almost smells too fishy, but I'm still taking the Bucks -4.
Okay. All right. Looking at fantasy
I
for
smell fishy.
Stop
Sorry.
it. Looking at fantasy. You do realize on purpose. Anyway, looking at an overperformer. Looking at the Bucks, we've got no Mike Evans, no Chris Godwin, Bucky Irving is still questionable. So looking at my lineups last night, I'm throwing Sterling Shepard in again because he's projected 4.85 points, I think it was. And I think he's going to pick up the slack and have a similar stat line to what he had against the Jets in week 3 with 4 catches for 80 yards and be more around that 10 fantasy point range. And with the heavy buy, there's not a ton of options either.
Yeah.
Throw him in. I think he's going to overperform. For an underperformer, I don't really have one for this game because of all of the injuries. I think you should be starting Baker Mayfield, Kate Otten, Egbuka, whichever running back starts, and Shepard. I also think you have to start Olave and Kamara for the Saints.
Yeah, it's hard.
So I don't know, like, if these guys underperform, I still don't think you can stay away from them.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Up next, we have the Cowboys, who are hitting the road to take on the Broncos, where Denver is the 3-point favorite.
Cereals Cowboys.
This is
show
Cereals.
Some respect.
Okay,
And
sorry. How do you want me to show respect?
Cereals Cowboys take on Pinky's Broncos. I don't know.
I don't know. Okay. Well, anyway, the Cowboys just beat the Commanders down, winning 44-22. Dak Prescott threw for 264 yards and 3 touchdowns. Javonte Williams ran the ball for 19 times for 116 yards and a touchdown. We had CeeDee Lamb come back, and he had 5 catches for 110 yards and a touchdown. Pickens had 4 catches for 82 yards. But Jake Ferguson had 7 catches for only 29 yards, but 2 touchdowns.
Well, touchdowns matter.
Touchdowns. The Broncos, they're coming off of a thrilling 33-32 win over the Giants, where this was crazy. They scored 0 points in quarters 1 through 3. And then they come in fourth quarter, scored 33 points, and the Giants do nothing.
Yeah. Did you watch the recap from that guy on Instagram on this game?
I don't think I've seen that one.
You got to watch that one.
Okay. Bo Nix threw the ball for 50 times, completing 27 for 279 yards and 2 touchdowns. Dobbins ran 14 times for 81 yards. Cortland Sutton led receivers with 6 catches for 87 yards on 10 targets. But Marvin Mims wasn't far behind with 6 catches for 85 yards. And then Troy Franklin and running back RJ Harvey caught 2 touchdown passes, and Nix added 2 more on the ground.
First of all, I love watching Bo Nix play. He's very fun to watch. He's high energy. The dude doesn't cuss. He says he thinks you can talk without cussing. He listens to Christian rock before. He's just a really interesting guy. He's like Tim Tebow, but more talented. And no offense, Tim Tebow. I love Tim Tebow. But I'm betting the over in this game. That's my top bet. But I'm sprinkling some on that Cowboys money line. Broncos coming off of that big win, the big fourth quarter comeback. Sometimes that emotion zaps you for the next game.
Yeah. Yep. Looking at fantasy, overperformer here. I'm throwing out Cortland Sutton. He has had double-digit targets in 2 of the last 3 games. Throw him in against, sorry, Serial, but a bad Dallas defense. I'm expecting him to exceed his 12-point projection. For an underperformer, you're not sitting Lamb or Pickens. I'm not saying to. However, with the Denver defense and how they've played, and with Patrick Surtain likely shadowing CeeDee Lamb, I would just temper your expectations for him having a really big game.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Hunter checking in, by the way, with our update. First time all season that CeeDee Lamb has outscored Michael Pittman. He did it 22 to 20.8. So Pittman still leads 102 to 60. Pinky saying the Broncos are getting slaughtered if they don't play before the fourth quarter, and he was at that game. It was crazy to be awful for 3 quarters and then go off in the fourth. Yeah, a lot of people left. So I'm glad you didn't leave. Hopefully you didn't leave anyways.
But it's just crazy to
33 points in the fourth quarter.
Nothing first 3 quarters and then to just take the game.
Yeah. That was we were sitting at the table, and I don't even remember what we're doing, but remember I said, hang on, I got to watch this closer because I was watching it, but I had to get into the living room and watch this unfold because it was getting insane.
It's exciting. But I'm gonna talk about really disappointing. If you're a Broncos fan,
a Giants fan.
What?
A Giants fan or a Broncos?
No, for the first 3 quarters. Yeah. To be sitting there watching that,
really
and then
disappointing if you're a Giants fan.
to just watch them hand it over
because they scored with 34 or 40 some seconds left, but then he missed the extra point, so they were only up by 2. Yeah. Crazy emotions, I'm sure. Next game, the Titans go on the road to Indianapolis, where the Colts are 14-point favorites. Titans coming off that 31-13 loss against the Patriots, where Cam Ward threw for 255 yards, touchdown and an interception. Tony Pollard ran the ball 6 times, but only 18 yards. He did salvage his day some by catching 6 balls for 43 yards. Tyjae Spears also continuing to get involved. He had 5 runs for 22 yards. I'd keep watching that name if they keep getting him more involved. Top receiver, Chimmery Dyke, which I think is a hilarious name as well. 4 catches for 70 yards and a touchdown. The Colts beat down the Chargers. We talked about that 38-24, but Dan the Man Jones threw for 288 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jonathan Taylor continued his huge year, 94 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. I think that's 3 games now with 3 touchdowns. Insane. Alec Pierce had 5 catches for 98 yards on 10 targets. Michael Pittman, 7 catches, 58 yards, and a touchdown on 9 targets. The last game that these two played each other earlier this year, the Colts won 41-20. That was in Tennessee. I don't think that all of a sudden Tennessee's going to show up in Indianapolis and kick some ass. 14 points is a lot of points, but I'm riding with the Colts. I'm just doing it.
All right, for fantasy, here's where I'm going to make up all the time we've gone over and just simplify this for y'all. This one, just start your Colts players, sit your Titans. Mic drop.
I like it. By the way, RD checking in saying you killed him in Dynasty this week. Well done.
Sorry, RD. Not sorry. All right. Next up, we've got Sunday Night Football. We're already here. Where, the Packers are hitting the road to Pittsburgh as the 3-point favorites, and Aaron Rodgers faces off against the team that drafted him. The Packers, they've squeaked by the Cardinals, winning 27-23. Jordan Love threw for 179 yards and a touchdown. You had Josh Jacobs, who ran for 55 yards and 2 touchdowns. The top 2 receivers were Romeo Doubs with 6 catches for 72 yards and tight end Tucker Kraft with 5 catches for 58 yards and a touchdown. Looking at the Steelers, they're coming off of a loss 33-31 to the Bengals on Thursday night, and get a little, extra rest.
Yeah. Thursday to Sunday.
Yeah.
Extra rest.
Yep. Last Thursday, he threw for 249 yards and 4 touchdowns, but 2 picks. Jaylen Warren was back to dominating the backfield with 16 carries for 127 yards, while Kenneth Gainwell only got 3 for 14. The top receiver was tight end Pat Freiermuth, who had 5 catches for 111 yards and 2 touchdowns. In fact, all of the touchdown passes went to tight ends with Muth having 2, Smith had 1, and then Darnell Washington had 1.
Yeah, Darnell Washington is a weird guy to see on the field because I think he's like 6'8" and he just looks like a monster. Sorry, RD, you're chiming in at the wrong time. We know, you know this too. Aaron Rodgers is petty as fuck. He's a petty person. He is winning this game. He is beating the Packers. So give me the Steelers money line.
Yes. And then
by the way, Nation season checking in, Mike Tomlin, home dog spot, take the points. Yeah. Tomlin does not lose as a home dog very often.
No.
All right, moving on to the next game. The Commanders go to Kansas City, where the Chiefs are 10-point favorites. Commanders coming off that 44-22 loss, where they also lost Jaden Daniels, perhaps for a week or two, meaning Marcus Mariota may draw the start. Daniels threw for 156 yards and a touchdown before leaving. He also ran for 35 yards and 1 touchdown. If you remember, I said Javonte Williams over rushing yards and Javonte Williams anytime touchdown. I said Jaden Daniels anytime touchdown and over rushing yards. He had 35. He needed 10 and a half more before he left with injury. So that was upsetting. With McLaurin and Debo both out as a top receiver, Jalen Lane stepped in, had 3 catches, 60 yards. Chiefs coming off that 31-0 shutout against the Raiders. Sorry to your Uncle Paul and the Hoys. Mahomes, they're Raiders fans. Mahomes threw for 286 yards and 3 touchdowns. Pacheco ran the ball 13 times for 57 yards and a touchdown. He's kind of been back. And speaking of back, Rashee Rice's first game back, he got targeted 10 times. He caught 7 of those for 42 yards and 2 touchdowns. This was hey, I'm back. I'm pissed off that I did a boo-boo, got in trouble, and Mahomes was like, we got you taken care of, buddy. I'll release some prop bets here, but especially with no Jaden Daniels, it's hard not to take Chiefs -10. They're playing really good ball right now.
Yep, I agree with you there. Rashee Rice was worked in slowly. He played 41% of the snaps, still managed 7 catches for 42 yards and 2 touchdowns. Looking at projections, he's projected 12.76 this week, but I think you can fully trust him back in your lineups now. He's going to exceed that. Bill Krosky-Merritt has 9 fantasy football points total in the last 2 games.
9 total?
Total in 2 games. So that's including a game against the Cowboys, who have struggled against the run. Now they face the Chiefs, who have been pretty good against the run. And I just don't think that he's going to get to I think it's like 10 point something fantasy points he's projected.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah, that's all we got because that was Monday Night Football.
Monday night.
So shorter week, obviously, because of all the buys. But, we got to talk a little bottle lock bets because, Miranda, the teaser I gave out hit. There was one that pushed, so it didn't.
Do you have the bottle?
Yeah. It didn't pay out the full amount. It didn't pay out the $50, but it did pay out the $44.53. We'll take that. So teasers have been hot right now for me. So I got another 7-point teaser. We got the Bills, Patriots, Bengals, 49ers, Bucks, Chiefs, and the over in the Eagles Giants game. We're throwing 15 on that, which will pay $75. Notice our current bottle value is $44.53. I'm only betting 20 of it this week. We're saving some just in case. Just in case. The other one, I got a little parlay. We're just sprinkling $5 on. Patriots -7, Bills -6.5, Bucks -4.5, Steelers +3. $5 will pay $58.98. So if both of those hit, we're going to have like $133 plus our $153 bottle at that point. Then we're going to have to decide with the chat if we go buy a $150 bottle of whiskey or if we let it ride a little longer and see if we can maybe get a $200 bottle of whiskey, which would be sweet.
That would be.
So, hopefully the bets pull through. I got a little barrel strength bet for you too. I couldn't help but take a little dog parlay. Money line dog parlay round robin is how I would do this. But 49ers, Cowboys, Steelers, if you parlay them all together, that's almost 11-1. So really liking that. Before we get to our whiskey, don't forget, Old Fashioned Football is proud to announce that the season's listener league has been brought to you by Keeper's Heart Whiskey. We're all the way into week 8. Now, Keeper's Heart is the first of its kind blend that brings together the best of Irish and American whiskeys, creating a smooth, rich flavor that's perfect for game day. Whether you're celebrating a win, processing a tough loss like Pinky Hat to me, or just relaxing with friends. Keeper's Heart is the whiskey that keeps traditions alive. Find it at your local liquor store at keepersheartwhiskey.com. Don't forget to sip responsibly. Let's do a little update on that.
Yeah, let's do it.
My team, no longer on a 4-game losing streak. I put an end to that as I beat Pinky. Sorry, Pinky. Other winners this week include Cody, our buddy Cody, Hunter, the DGen Doc, Sebastian that you mentioned earlier. You won this week, and then Kate won.
Sounds so surprised.
No, I wasn't surprised.
Like,
I'm just
you won.
You were among the winners. And Kate won. Kate continues to reign in first place.
I know.
At 5-2.
She is dominating, and
she
I love it.
obviously wants to win her own whiskey. Second place right now is Sebastian. He's also 5-2, but she has more points. She scored the most points in the league. And then at 4-3, the next 4 teams, if the season ended today, which it doesn't, the teams that would be in are Cody, you, Fortune, and Rod. Still anybody's game, though. Hunter and I battle next week, and you're taking on Channing. So it is his first year playing fantasy football. Maybe you'll take it easy.
You can't do that in fantasy football. There's no taking it easy on anybody.
Fair enough. Nick Fortune chiming in. He must be done cooking dinner. Tonight's dinner.
He gave you the menu.
I was about to ask. Tonight's dinner menu, garlic Cajun chicken wings. Well, that's not really a menu. It's one thing, but it does sound delicious.
Meat. It's what's for dinner.
Meat. But anyways, he was chiming in saying that he's got the Bills, Falcons, and Bengals all to win at plus 105 money line. I like that. I like that a lot. Hunter's going for 2 wins in a row and hoping to stay unbeaten against the Marks. And Pinky's saying his team is in shambles, dumpster fire. You just lost to a really, really good Superior team. It's okay.
Who had been losing 4 games in a row.
4 games in a row. Yeah. Anyways, let's talk a little whiskey.
Let's do it.
But I guess before we do, or leading into that, why don't you remind everybody, what are we drinking today?
We are drinking Whipsaw Rye Whiskey.
I do that so
I know, because you gotta go get the bottle.
Well, first of all, because it's a pretty graphic, and I don't want everybody to see me awkwardly reaching for the bottle that I keep behind the shelf. I keep it right here behind me. I got confused. I keep it right behind me so that you can see it all show. Anyways, I'm gonna do a little pouring.
Let's do that.
Do a little history or background on
this.
So,
like I said, we're drinking. You kill me. Whipsaw Rye. This is made by Splinter Group Spirits, which unfortunately, you just can't find much information, or they don't have a website anymore. They were acquired by Vintage Wine Estates, which filed for bankruptcy last year. Oops. So you might also have trouble finding this one out there in the wild, which I'm actually, now that we've tried this and it's been in the old fashioned, I'm very disappointed that this isn't something we can just go find.
Well, you don't know what it's like on its own.
I have a feeling.
Oh, okay.
There's a feeling. Justin, my old fashioned is gone.
Wow. Look at you.
I never finished it during the show. Anyway.
Tonight, guys.
Okay. Anyway, stop it. So there's just, due to those circumstances, there's just not a lot of information that we could find that indicates if their company was bought out to continue producing whiskey. This was made in Napa, California, and they have bourbon, rye, or had bourbon, rye, and American whiskey, all aged in wine barrels. And this is made from a blend of whiskeys that's then finished in French oak wine barrels, which previously had Bob Cabral's Williams Sayum Pinot Noir and other luxury Napa Valley cabs.
All right.
So anyway, this I'm not surprised at how much I like this because of the region.
Yeah, the region and the age.
I like California whiskeys.
Yeah. Yep, for sure.
It's been proven.
It's been proven.
Redwood Empire.
It's true.
Savage and Cook when they were out, still before they got bought out by Redwood Empire. We've had another California whiskey, and I'm trying to remember what it was.
Old Potrero.
Old Potrero. Yep.
That's made in San Francisco.
So there's just something about, California, the Napa Valley area, Northern California, great for wines, also great for whiskey.
Yeah, absolutely.
And whiskey finished in wine barrels.
Yeah.
Which I could absolutely tell that in this old fashioned.
I could as well. That's why I like the Manhattan, because if you're unfamiliar, Manhattan is made with
sweet vermouth.
Thank you, sweet vermouth, which it's not a wine, but it's very wine-ish. It's very similar to a strong wine.
It had so much flavor in the old fashioned, but it was like a dry old fashioned.
Yeah.
It gave you that feeling of drinking a dry wine, which I love dry wines.
Yeah.
And it was just, this was the best old fashioned we've ever had on the show.
Wow.
Boom.
Wow. Well, with that, are you scoring it a 5?
I'm scoring it a 5. I would love to just drink these old fashions going forward.
Interesting. Well, we'll look for this bottle again.
Justin, I finished my old fashioned when we were halfway through the show.
Yeah, that is unusual for you.
Because it tasted so good.
Mine is gone too, but usually I finish way before you. Maybe I'm the lush. So you're giving it a 5. I did do a 4.3. I thought it was very good.
4.3
to me.
Why? Why wasn't it a 5? Explain to me what would be better.
I think it's the wrong cocktail for it.
No, I disagree. I like old fashions much more than I like Manhattans. I've had a good old
Manhattan.
No. I've had a good Manhattan. I'm just trying to get the word Manhattan out.
Okay. Nobody's stopping you.
You are stopping me. You get the blame for that.
That's fair.
But I tend to like old fashions much more, and I want this in my old fashioned. I don't want to drink a Manhattan with this. I want an old fashioned with this.
All right, well, you got to try Manhattan with it.
But now, what are we gonna do? This is my predicament, because what are we gonna do?
Because you can't keep drinking them because it'll be gone.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to look for the bottle. We'll look at our stores. We hit up. Mom and Dad like to go a little bottle hunting over in Omaha, Nebraska.
We're gonna send them on
We'll send them on a little mission.
Yeah.
See if they can find a little Whipsaw
Mission
Rye.
Impossible.
Now, I will say that the bottle's market price is $60.
This is just normal, like $60 shelf.
$60 bottle, yeah.
Which is more, we call it more mid-shelf because you can get like, I don't know, I feel like there's your $20 to $30 range, there's your $50 to $60, and then there's your like, you're spending a lot of money.
And I know a lot of people will say 60 is a lower range. I disagree, but that's just
when they sell whiskey for upwards of over $100 for a lot of the what people will call your more quality. Like I like the.
Now we got a hell of a deal because we've talked about this auction that we bid on. We got this for $18. So
I know. We're never gonna find that deal again.
There were more than one of them, so disappointing now that you like it. Let's give this bottle score real quick. Not a lot special.
The bottle, it's okay. What's inside the bottle is what counts.
I know, but we're scoring the bottle.
I know.
2.
I would give it a 2 as well.
All right, on the same page. Well, let's do a little sniffing and tasting.
Okay, it's so dark because it's wine finish.
This does not smell like the Bucks spread line against the Saints. It does not smell fishy. Just throwing that out there.
This smells so good. Oh my god.
It's very wine forward, I would say. Do you think you smell that wine?
You do. I smell the grapes on the vine.
The grapes.
But it has all of the characteristics of a rye in there too. Like you get the spice. There's like a sweetness from the wine, even though it's a dry wine. Or wait, was it? It wasn't a Cab. It was a Pinot.
It was a Pinot, and
which is still
wasn't a Pinot
dry.
And Cab Sav.
Yeah.
Cab Sav.
Cab Sav. Sorry, I didn't say the Sav.
I'm not a wine snob, but I think a Cab is drier. Correct. Pinot is usually sweeter. Cab drier.
Pinot is dry too.
I guess
it's on
Depends.
It's just over the line.
God, it smells good though. I will say that.
It's a 5.
Oh, I give it a 4. You're giving it a 5.
That is a good, that does not smell. It doesn't burn your nose. What is the proof? We didn't cover that.
We didn't cover that. The proof is 90.
90.
Just a
okay.
90 proof.
Very drinkable.
Yeah. Yep. It just, you get the rye spice and a lot of grape, a lot of wine.
And you get a little, move it around while you smell it. like swish it or like do this.
Yeah.
While you smell it, because you get
Which some people say you're not supposed to.
I know, but I
are,
kind of
like,
get when you do that, kind of get a little char.
I say fuck it. I do what I want.
Get a little bit of char. Do you smell that? Charred
Yeah,
oak?
I think I do. I am getting a little bit of that.
Mhm.
Maybe it's because you're planting it in the old noggin. But
I am. But it smells good. Now you're tasting it, so now I'm gonna while you tell me what
yeah.
you're tasting.
Well, I'm not going to tell you what I taste right away. I'm going to let you digest that a little bit. I will say the taste let me down a little based on the smell and the cocktail. Not a bad taste. I'm not saying it's a bad taste, but I'm not getting a lot of whiskey character out of it. Are you?
Yeah?
Are you?
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not.
The way it's warming your body
well,
and the spice from the rye,
but it tastes
that
like
rye
wine.
spice. It does not taste like there's wine. It's very wine forward, but it is very much whiskey. Taste it again.
It's so smooth that maybe, I don't know.
It's smooth, but it also has that like
I guess there's
some bite to it.
Yeah, on the finish, a little bit of pepper
It's
spice.
the perfect like it's an awesome blend of wine and whiskey.
It almost reminds me of a port finished wine because there's a lot of sweetness to it.
Pinot.
No.
And Pinot. More Pinot than port. It's not
Okay,
port.
Fair enough. That's just your opinion.
You haven't had Pinot in a while, have you?
When's the last time I drank wine?
I don't know. I've drank wine much more recently than you. I would give it, as much as I really like it.
Hoity-toity here, drinking her wine. Anyways, go on.
I drink my whiskey with my wine.
Right.
Or my wine with my whiskey. Either way, I would give it a 4 on the taste. I really like it.
Yeah.
Are you laughing at our dog?
I am. Mainly, I mean, I don't know what she's doing on the bed there, but I see her back half over your shoulder while I'm looking at you, and I just saw her 2 legs in the air going this. Like it was. Anyways,
she's getting restless.
Yeah.
Which means we need to be wrapping this up.
Mm-hmm.
I would give it a 4. It's very good. I could sip this, but as much as I would like to drink this neat, I loved it in the old fashioned so much that I would want this to be an old fashioned whiskey for us.
That's fair. I gave it a 3.7. I do.
Ooh, that's low.
It's 0.3 lower than what you gave it. Get out of here. I think it's good.
Mm-hmm. I'm so disappointed that they're not in production anymore.
I know. I think, if I'm being honest, I think this would be better at a higher proof. A little more heat,
I think it's refreshing to find a 90 proof that's this good. Because a lot of what we like right now is higher proof.
And a lot of 90 proof lacks some character. I get that. But I think a higher proof would do it some more justice. Just my opinion. Just throwing that out there. You got anything else you want to add?
No, this is good.
Yeah, good whiskey. Check it out if you can find it. Find it in the wild because it's going to be harder and harder to find. We do think it's worth it. $6 is a mid-range. I think it's worth that probably, especially for your cocktails.
You got anything else?
No, I thought you wanted to add
something. No, I'm going to finish it.
Oh, you're not going to share this one with me.
No, I'm going to finish the show.
Oh, you're going to finish the show?
Yes.
Okay, before you do, if the Bears beat the Ravens, I have a bottle of absinthe behind my shelf that I've been waiting to do something with. If the Bears win their 5th game in a row, I will be chugging that airplane bottle of absinthe.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Well,
let's go Bears.
With that, my old fashioned is gone, Justin.
Going once, going twice.
Sold.